Hey guys, what's up? It's Yana. Welcome to day one of Camp NaNoWriMo July 2021. It's been about a year since I've posted anything on this channel. So where have you been? Asked nobody ever, because you don't care. Well, I came to the conclusion that AutoTube was very bad for my writing. Even though I enjoyed making the videos, it was kind of either do the YouTube thing or do the writing properly, and obviously I want to be a writer, so I wanted to do the writing properly. So I actually wasn't going to do this year, but it just, until 15 minutes ago, I was not planning on making a video. But then it was just kind of, oh my goodness, it's been a year, and this is how this channel started with Camp NaNoWriMo July 2020. So I don't know, something just told me to do the daily vlogs again, but like in a very non-pressury, non-structured format. So the truth is, I'm not actually even really doing Camp NaNoWriMo this year at all, because I don't think that's very helpful to my writing either. So I haven't registered a project on the website or anything like that. So essentially, this is actually just going to be a month of what might be daily vlogs, but I may decide not to do that. But for now, I'm thinking maybe it's gonna be daily vlogs again, just for the month of July. Just a month of what I'm doing with my writing, which will just kind of run parallel to Camp NaNoWriMo, just for the sake of the nostalgia of how this channel even started. So a quick update, just in case somebody cares. What have I been doing with my life since last year? I've actually had a really great year. I've done a whole lot of writing. Some of it is really hilarious, so I'll probably go into more depth in some future videos. I won't have enough material anyway, so I'll be talking about all sorts of things. I've written a couple of books for one of those really horrible, low-level, worse than the worst of fanfiction.net online novel websites where you just kind of get the app on your phone and you read novels online, sometimes for free or sometimes you buy them for like a very small amount of money, but like they're very unedited, they're terrible, and like 99.9% of them are either billionaire romances or like alpha, beta, omega-verse werewolf romances. I did that as a joke because a friend and I found one of those websites and we were just kind of chatting about how hilarious it would be to write something for that sort of place, and then we realized there was a competition for like a billionaire romance thing where if you managed to even finish a certain number of words, it was a very low number. Actually, they counted it in characters, like 200,000 characters in this amount of time, and your book was a billionaire romance. So long as you managed to finish within the time limit, they gave you like a finalist prize, which was $150. So she kind of encouraged me, and also I thought it would be really funny. So I was like, why the hell not? So I registered for this website under a pen name because I definitely do not want my writing name, which is almost exactly the same as my real name, it's just slightly changed, or my real name to really be associated with the absolute bullshit I put on this website, because it was literally unedited nonsense. Because the way that these things work is that you just kind of you just sort of spit whatever's in your head onto the page and you follow the tropes, and it's so like it's terribly trope. It's so bad, you guys, it's so bad. But I was just like, you know what, I don't care, I'm just gonna do it. Why not? It's like $150. You're paying me to write, why not? And I can't believe I actually finished it, but I did. So I participated in that competition. It was really funny. What I ended up with was actually not that terrible. I was kind of fighting with myself the entire time, because I came into it with the idea of, okay, I'm going to do exactly what's required. I'm going to write a terrible book. I'm going to write an abusive, you know, all the tropes, 50 Shades of Grey, billionaire romance with a really stupid main character. And, you know, it's just gonna be exactly what the people who want to read books on these websites want to read. And I know that's what they want to read because there are statistics, you can check everything, what people want and what books are popular, and all of that. And I was just like, I just want to do this as an experiment to see if I can do it. I couldn't do it. Like, I genuinely could not do it. And I'm not saying that I couldn't do it because I'm such a great writer, that this was beneath me. Like, I genuinely tried, but I just couldn't make my brain do that. So actually what I ended up with was still pretty stupid and not well written, but at least it was very kind of healthy and wholesome. I ended up writing a gay romance because their LGBT section was teeny tiny, so I was like, well, I may as well contribute something that's not, you know, just the usual stupid girl falls in love with an abusive mob boss or some other sorts of billionaire thing. So I was like, okay, well, at least, you know, I want to avoid that dynamic of like the abusive man and the stupid woman. So I'm going to make it two guys, and then my billionaire was kind of really sweet and adorable and not abusive at all, and my other character was kind of slightly maybe naive and Mary Sue, but not like dumb. So it turned out into kind of like a gay version of a Hallmark Channel original Christmas movie. Like, it's very, very wholesome, very sweet and very cheesy and incredibly healthy. These people, they're just so, I kept wanting to make them do stupid things so that we would have conflict, but I just couldn't make myself do that. So they behave very reasonably the entire time. So I ended up with characters that I really liked, but probably a very boring book because they're just mostly nice to each other, and one of them just happens to be very rich. But anyway, that happened, and that was just such a fun experience that I don't know if I should recommend something like that, but I almost feel inclined to recommend it because there's some benefit to just completely letting go, having almost no inhibitions. Well, clearly I had some, but it's just because I was writing under this pen name, and I started with the idea that this was going to be terrible. So from then on, it was just a question of, you know, come up with something. And I don't usually write like that, and I don't think for me that it's good to write like that when I'm trying to write an actual book. But as a sort of just a training exercise, it was potentially very useful. And then after that, there was another competition. I participated in that as well, so I got a participation prize from that one as well. And then they finally realized they were paying too much money to people that they weren't making any money off of, so they, for the next competitions, they kind of changed the rules slightly, so you couldn't participate as easily. You have to have like a number of followers and like a commercial account or whatever. But I got some money out of those two books. The second one was absolutely insane. That was even crazier. That one had to be, so the rules were, it had to be a supernatural romance between a human and one of a number of possible other species. There was werewolves, vampires, dragons, witches, or I think there was another one, but I'm not sure what it was. But you couldn't have any other supernatural creatures in it. other than the mentioned ones, which was a very weird rule, and I didn't want to do vampires or werewolves because it's been done too much. So I wrote a dragon romance, again in the LGBT section, because at least there my books were being read, because it was so small that I actually rose to like number 2 or number 3 in that section, just because there's not that many books there. It's obviously slightly questionable, you know, do I have the right to write LGBT romances? But like the way that I approached it was, at least the section will have some representation, and I wasn't writing it from any point of view of like presenting LGBT issues, because both books kind of happened in environments where that wasn't, like, I just wrote it as I would write a heterosexual romance, but the characters happened to be all male. And the reason I don't feel, I do sometimes write lesbian romance as well, like within other books, like characters who are lesbians, but I didn't want to do that because I find it almost more difficult to, and I'm working on it, I'm trying to get better at it, but because I'm attracted to men, I find it easy to write from the perspective of somebody who's attracted to men and listing the things that are attractive, and I'm finding it a bit more difficult to list the things that, you know, that my character would find sexy or attractive about a woman, so I'm still trying to kind of find that perspective. But anyway, that's a massive tangent. What am I even talking about? This is supposed to be about what I'm currently writing. But anyway, that happened within that year that I've been gone, and a massive amount of other writing happened as well, which brings me to what I'll be doing this month. Oh, and a massive amount of editing. If you watched my previous vlogs, you know that I'm also the editor for somebody else's children's novel. So I finished the first round of edits on that, so the developmental stuff is now finished. A lot of the line editing is finished as well, so we're kind of going in for our penultimate kind of round of edits where I pick up small things, and then there will be the copy editing, but that's coming along now as well. And so the project that I've been really focusing on in my writing is the main novel that I've been working on since forever, which I may or may not have, there's no way I didn't mention it, but that's sort of creepy fantasy, children, middle grade to young adultish, mystery. There's a lot of genres in there, but it's supposed to be creepy and scary, and there's also mystery, and also it's fantasy, and it's about friendship a lot, and it's just everything that I love. So I've been working very seriously on that, and it's very, very advanced. I'm editing it right now, and that's what I'm going to be doing this month. I'm going for not a final edit, but like a pretty polished version of it right now, and it needs to become longer because currently it's first draft, it's not long enough. Some things, as I go through it, I realize that I can add some scenes, add some chapters, so it's going to be longer. So I will be writing some new words as well, and not just editing. Yeah, that's what I'll be working on. And actually yesterday I did a lot of figuring out. I wrote a timeline, a more detailed timeline that is kind of like day by day, because I had my events, you know, fairly structured, but I didn't know what date it was, and they were like inconsistencies in how long the gaps were between certain events. So that's mostly figured out now, and I have an Excel spreadsheet, which I never do. I hate Excel with a passion, but this time it actually proved useful. I have an Excel spreadsheet with my timeline, and also another Excel spreadsheet with what each chapter contains. So it's got whose point of view is it from, because at the moment I've got two point of view characters. It's not first person, because I'm not a massive fan of first. I've done first person, but I'm not a big fan of it. But I have two point of view characters that are kind of changing, not even every chapter. We'll see, maybe we'll try to clean that up. But it's got what the main things are that happen in the chapter, what hints for the mystery there are, do I think I might need to add something to that chapter, and that sort of thing. So I've been very, very organized, and it's coming along. And apart from that, I'm also working a little bit on my scientific writing, even though it's been ages since I graduated, but my supervisor contacted me recently and she was like, we're thinking of finally publishing, you know, your data in these papers. And she's gonna be mostly writing it, because I'm out of academia now and I've got other things to do. I'm still tutoring, I teach several debate clubs now. But I'm still trying to kind of do a little bit of writing. So if she needs something from me, I've organized all the, you know, all the data and the conclusions, and it just doesn't look like I'm lazy and I don't care, because I really like my supervisor, and you know, I don't want to give the impression that I don't want to help or do work that's connected to the project that we did together. So I've been doing a tiny bit of that, not a whole lot, because that used to make me very anxious thinking about those papers, but I think now enough time has passed that I'm actually not very anxious about it and I'm enjoying it, so that's great. Anyway, I'm absolutely babbling. I guess the purpose of this video was just to say that I'm kind of back, and I'll be posting some random chats and vlogs and things like this again. Oh, another thing, you're finding me back where I was, where you last left me. This is my parents' house, and it's again the middle of summer, so I'll be taking you all to the beach a lot and that sort of thing. Last time we did this, actually, I finished my Camp NaNoWriMo vlogs here, but I only did a couple from this house, or a few of them, because I had just come here for my summer holiday, but this time I've been here forever, so the entire month I'm gonna be here. I actually came back here in December for a Christmas holiday, was supposed to go back to the UK on the 6th of January, but that didn't happen because pandemic and stuff, and I'm a freelancer and I can work online, so there was just no reason to come back. And I've been here ever since. I've been here absolutely forever. So expect a lot of sun and writing at the beach and cocktails. Anyway, this is enough. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next vlog. Bye!